Okay, Cakenistas, I am doing a fall fest and I am prepping for said fall fest. I'm going to bake everything and then do a setup run. For right now, I'm going to be making a very big batch of vanilla. I have my fall fest menu and this is going to tell me how many batches of vanilla cake that I'm going to be making. So birthday cake is vanilla cake based, Oreo cake is vanilla based, the Stroop waffle, and I may even be able to do the pumpkin spice. So that means I will need 4 batches of vanilla cake mix just for the parfaits. So 7 batches of vanilla cake. This is how you're really able to do mass production in baking. You can start off with your base and then flavor. And then if I have anything left over, I'll just come up with another flavor. My brother from another gave me this book. I still love it. I was using it to draw at first. I was like drawing outfits and stuff. Then I took it to cost control class. An invoice is a record of what you purchased. Oh my goodness, this was 2012. What in the world? Determine selling price by multiplying the budgeted food cost percentage. In this course, we were using 33%. Then you determine the selling price multiplier by dividing the budget of food costs into 100%. Okay, you guys, so I am pulling out my hefty 50-pound bag of cake flour. I am down to the bottom of this bag, finally. And I'm going to start to mix my dry ingredients for 2 batches of cake. Once I do that, I'm going to add it to the pot and then add in my wet ingredients. To this bowl, I'm doing 6 cups of cake flour, about 3.5 cups of granulated sugar, and then I'm going to add in my baking powder, baking soda, and salt. Setup is different because I'm in my baby kitchen making big things happen. Okay, so it's a very small kitchen. This is not intended to be a cute, visually appealing video, but it is intended to be helpful. I'm putting all of my dry ingredients into my large stock pot and I'm going to give this a good whisk for a couple of minutes to sift all of those ingredients together. And in case you're wondering what recipe this is the cake recipe that I always use. My 1 bowl vanilla cake. I'm adding in buttermilk, some vanilla extract that I made that has actual vanilla beans in it, and then my eggs and oil. I'm going to give that a mix just until it's combined because I'm going to add more cake batter to this pot, so I don't want to overmix it all. I have now added some batter that I had in the freezer from the previous weekend. I let it thaw out and then added it to the pot, as well as another bowl of batter that I made on the side. So now I have about 3.5 batches of vanilla batter in that pot. I'm going to make my first cupcake. This is going to be my golden cookies and cream cupcake. So I'm going to crush up my golden cookies and use my scoop to count how many cupcakes I want to make in this flavor. I'm putting that into the bowl, and that way it's already pre-measured. Throughout the years, people have always asked me if I make each individual flavor of cake, and that's not true at all. I just make one large batch and use what I need and flavor it accordingly. I did make one other batch of vanilla. I added some confetti sprinkles to it. And I'm going to bake that in my half hotel cake pan, the one that I mentioned before in a previous video. That's going to bake for about 40 minutes. I'm going to do the same thing with some chocolate Oreos that I did with the golden ones. Crush them up, add a few scoops of batter, enough to make the amount of cupcakes that I had properly counted out. And those are going to bake as well. And now I can move on to the next flavor. My first batch of cookies and cream cupcakes has come out of the oven. This is the rest of that cookies and cream batter. And this right here is what I'm calling my cinnamon stroop waffle cupcake. So I've added some spices and another little secret ingredient in there. So I counted, I should get about, I think I counted like 15-ish. And I'm only using one cupcake pan because you see I have this gorgeous blue paper and I was worried about it being all greasy, so I put a little bit of rice at the bottom of the cake pan. The first batch actually came out pretty well. Of course I'm out of rice because I never buy rice anymore, but that's why I'm only using one cupcake pan, or really I would have had all of these cupcakes done at the same time. So these are going to go into the oven for about 17 minutes. Alexa, set cupcake timer for 17 minutes.
Cupcake timer, 17 minutes, starting now.
Alright you guys, so this is the confetti cake. It took about 45 minutes to bake. It is once again 2 batches of my cake batter recipe. So now I have to make the pumpkin, and I only have one of these, so I really want to take this out. This is the half hotel pan that I was talking about that I like to bake my cakes in, because you see how big it is. It's just like the perfect size. Alright, I'll just flip it over. This looks gorgeous. For this I'm using pan spray and all-purpose flour. We started up here, and then I made another batch of batter off to the side, and then I had a half of batter left over. So this basically was filled to the top. And now it looks like I have about 2 left. I have a can of pumpkin here. Make sure to always wash the top of your cans. They are dirty, gal. Dirty. This is a large can. This is like 1 pound 13 ounces. Yeah, that's pretty big. I'm gonna use half of this can. Yep, definitely half of the can. It's just like cooking with me. Like, I just love to taste the spices. So that's gonna be for like a normal person. If it were for me, I'd probably add more. It smells so good. Oh my goodness. All right, definitely 2 batches. So we measured correctly. Into the oven for about 45 minutes, and then we will move on. Okay, so I do have cleanup to do, but before I do that, I want to put these chocolate cupcakes into the oven. It smells like heaven. Girl, what am I talking about? My oven's already full. These cupcakes have just come out the oven. The chocolate has just gone in. I'm going to put down some wax paper so that I can do a 2 stack until I decide to decorate. I'm going to do my last little bit of stroop waffle and then back into the oven. And had I been thinking early on, this is another cake recipe that is just vanilla based, and then I add bananas, but I was not thinking about it. I have no idea why. I'm just going to make another batch of vanilla cake, my 7th batch, and add bananas to it, and that is it. I also add a little bit of rum, but you know. So to recap, I made 7 batches of cake total, 6 of them being vanilla. To my vanilla, I added golden Oreos, chocolate Oreos, pumpkin, banana, one just with spices, and then the last one with confetti sprinkles. And that's how I got all of this cake. This is all basically one batch of vanilla. So I hope that this helps some of y'all out. Please watch the next video, which is how I set up the vendor event. I hope to see you guys there in that video. Leave a comment down below and don't forget to subscribe. Bye, Cake Nieces.